give the floor to Mr. Martin McMahon. He represents my colleague Mohammed Fauzi.
First of all, thank you all for coming. I'll try to follow the very solid act. Elvis Presley was once asked, whose act does he not want to follow? And he said, Roy Orbison. So it's always difficult to follow up on an excellent speaker who has exposed, thank God, all of the financial international terrorism that Qatari leaders and Al Jazeera officials are financing. I'm the principal managing partner of the Transnational Business Attorneys Group, and we've done a lot of interesting work over the last 30 years to represent indigent people, folks like my colleague here, who can't find a competent attorney to really advance his cause because everybody's so expensive. We have represented Muslims murdered in Bangladesh. We had to file a criminal complaint in the International Criminal Court. We've sued Prime Minister Netanyahu for war crimes and other leaders. We've sued 5 different countries for treating their citizens in a disgusting and undemocratic manner. We have represented Palestinians who have been expelled from their homeland. Most people don't know it, but 400,000 Palestinians have been forcibly evicted from the occupied territories. It's called denationalization of a civilian population, and it's a war crime. We have represented civilian Iraqis, Chinese dissidents, and Americans who have been tortured, brutally tortured overseas, much like the young man from Ohio who came back in a comatic state and is now expired. We need to do things about that. But in any case, I want to follow up on my colleague's comments. I want to first of all thank him for inviting me for this opportunity. It's really special. And this press conference, you don't know, it may become historic, and I'll explain why. I also want to commend him for preparing the incredible dossier that you have in front of you. You know what it is? It's a criminal indictment. And that's how I practice law in New York City, where I'm from. Did a lot of criminal work. It's a criminal indictment against Qatari leaders and the Muslim Brotherhood leaders for sponsoring international terrorism. Now, international terrorism is a term that's kicked around by a lot of people, and I thought I might try to educate you a little bit about something. But President Clinton, in 1995, issued an executive order which banned the promotion or financing of terrorism in the Middle East. There's recently been enacted a statute called JASTA, which nobody knows about, I think, but it's called the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorist Activity. And what it does, and it should raise a cautionary red flag for the Qatari government, it strips governments of immunity when they sponsor international terrorism. And we've been involved in JASTA cases before. It also violates the international UN covenant on financing terrorism. Now, what's the results of that? Rex Tillerson is no doubt meeting today and tomorrow with his officials to determine what the consequences are of the proof now put forward by my colleague that Al Jazeera and Qatari officials, including the Emir, have been sponsors of international terrorism for a long time.